Hi, welcome back to my channel. You already know what time it is. We're going to be doing another session of the Love Island after show. So we're going to be covering episodes 4 to 8. Let's just say a lot has happened. My opinion on certain couples have definitely changed. Some have stayed the same though. And there seems to be some trouble in paradise for some couples. Make sure to check out my last video where I recapped episodes 1 to 3, just so it kind of makes a little bit more sense if you haven't seen the previous episodes. Alright, y'all, let's get into it because it's a lot to cover. So if y'all remember, episode 3 ended off with Huda finally dropping the huge ass bomb that, she has a kid at 24. And, Jeremiah was shook, he was trembling, he was scared for his life. Episode 4 kind of covers what happens after. So at first, as I was watching this scene with the both of them, I thought Jeremiah was taking it pretty well. Like, he was saying things like, okay, like, I still care about you, I still like you, I still want to get to know you, blah, blah, blah. But then he just kind of started saying some weird statements. Like, he was talking about, like, wanting to win the show. And then he was also, like, saying, like, oh, my feelings may change, but, like, I hope they don't, but they may change. And it's like, that's not really very reassuring, sir. The both of them, their relationship doesn't seem very genuine to me at all. So if y'all remember, Bella, Nick, and Sierra seem to be in this really odd, like, love triangle or whatever. So Bella takes Nick for a chat to talk about, what's going on, her feelings, just based on the conversations that they're having. I feel like Nick is somewhat kind of like intimidated by Bella. And also he said he's someone that wants a lot of like affection and physical affection and attention and things like that. And I think that's what really draws him specifically to Sierra because that girl she's like a koala bear. She's all over him. Like, she's very affectionate towards him. And I think that's kind of why his attention always kind of drifts towards her. But I think he likes Bella as a person and is more attracted to her. And then Sierra just kind of interrupts the conversation that Bella and Nick are having to, have a chat with Nick and basically kind of give him not an ultimatum, but she makes it very clear like, hey, I really, really like you and I kind of need you to make a choice sooner rather than later. And I feel like this kind of scares him a little bit. Fast forward, Austin and Shelly have a conversation and they both kind of agree that they're not really feeling a romantic spark at the moment. It seems like they're kind of more, more on the friends level. I think Austin, in my opinion, based on this conversation and how it went, I feel like Austin was just kind of like seeing what Shelly was gonna say, and when she agreed that they didn't have a romantic spark, he was like, "Yeah, totally, I agree." But he definitely has feelings for her. Like, I don't believe you. And then Charlie's just feeling like a sad little puppy because he doesn't really have a connection with anyone. He thought he had a connection with Shelly, but that didn't really go anywhere. He was trying to create a connection with Bella, but she is sprung over Nick, so she's not even giving him any attention. So he's just really sad and depressed. Not a lot happens in this episode, to be honest, except for like the last 20-ish minutes when they do the challenge. So I'll just fast forward to that. In short, the challenge is basically just each girl picking 4 guys that they want to like kiss. Honestly, that's me giving you the PG family friendly version. When I tell you this challenge, whoa, it was very steamy. Let's just say that. I think everyone was really shook when Bella went because if y'all remember, she in the beginning made it very clear that like, she doesn't really want to do the whole physical affection kissing thing right away. But this girl, hey. And then after all the girls go, we think, "Oh yeah, the challenge is done." But no, some new bombshells enter the villa. So we have Amaya and Hannah that enter. I think Amaya is 25, Hannah is 23. So Amaya goes first. She picks the guys that she wants. I think Charlie was like her number 1 guy that she kissed and had a connection with. So she does her challenge, no problems. Then problems start when Amaya's turn comes along because she picks Jeremiah as being a part of her kissing roster. And I think this point is where we really start to see Huda's mean girl pick me side come out because the way she was acting during this challenge was so unserious. The girls are like, trying to cover her eyes. She's like, nah, let me see. Like, she is angry. She's making little comments. Like, she is irritated. And Jeremiah, like when he kissed Amaya, he literally, you can tell he was being so respectful. Like, he wasn't fully in it. He literally just did it for the sake of the challenge. The episode ends with everyone just going back to the villa and talking about the challenge and how it went. And then the bombshells just kind of meeting everyone. And Huda's like, yeah, I don't like that girl. Like, I'm prettier than, she just made such pick me, ugly ass comments. I was like, girl, like, humble yourself a little bit. It's not that serious. And even all the other girls are like, girl, relax. It's literally a challenge. Amaya makes it clear when she's talking to the girl, she's like, yep, I still want to explore talking to Jeremiah and see where it goes. And obviously Huda's, she's not too pleased about this. Yeah. And then Nick and his numbers. First he's like, yeah, it's 50-50 between Sierra and Bella. Now it's 80-20. Oh, now it's back to 70-30. Oh, now it's 50. Nick, I'm tired. Okay? I'm tired. I don't want to be doing math while I'm watching this show. Like, it's just too much. Make a decision. And that's pretty much how episode 4 ends. On to episode 5. Oh, just kidding. On to episode 6, because episode 5 is like the After Sun recap episode. I don't really watch that. So, on to episode 6. Alright, so in episode 6, I keep wanting to say 5. In episode 6, the couples are, still obviously getting to know each other. Chelly and Ace, even though they aren't technically officially coupled, it's very clear that they like each other. And I don't know, their dynamic is just very confusing. Like it's almost like Ace always tries to make it clear, like, yeah, I'm pursuing you, you're the girl I want, blah blah blah. But then it never really goes anywhere. It's confusing for me, so I know it's for sure confusing for Chelly. And I just feel like I don't really trust Ace. I feel like he doesn't know what he wants. Amaya and Jeremiah also go off and have a little conversation. Amaya was obviously probing and like trying to get to know him a little bit more. Jeremiah, just the body language, like he's not even sitting down with her. He's standing up while she's sitting down and asking him questions. And he basically, high key, just friend zones her and tells her, like, I'm just interested in Huda. I want to get to know you on a friend level, on a friend connection, but that's about it. And Amaya's like, yeah, okay, well, I'm not about to chase a man, so period. We're good. There's nothing happening here. And it's so funny because after this conversation happens, all of a sudden, oh, Hada's like, I apologize for the way that I was acting. Like, yeah, I was doing a lot. Like, you seem like a nice girl, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, girl, the only reason why you're apologizing is because Jeremiah friend zoned her and there's nothing that's going to happen. So, like, it's just not even. It's giving fake. But Miss Amaya does not take this as an L. She's like, okay, well, there's other men in the villa, so I'm gonna go explore, and explore she did. She met up with Austin, and they did like a cute little like meditation session. Their vibe, they seem to be vibing like really well. Like they had a lot of friendly banter. They seem really like goofy and like fun together, and they shared a little kiss, a little something, a little smooch. So it definitely seemed like there was some kind of connection bubbling between them. And especially because Austin and Shelly had that previous conversation that they're just, right now only feeling a friendship spark. So, it kind of seems like Amaya and Austin might have a little something a little something there. And then Nick is just, he's still confused. Yeah, in these episodes I've noticed one thing about Nick, he's very confused. He's a very confused person. He's still unsure about the two girls, and he kind of does something trifling, right? So he talks with Bella, they have a little moment, and he shares a kiss with her. And I want to say not even like 20 minutes apart, he goes to Sierra and then they go to the photo booth and have a little discussion and then they share a kiss together. He's just moving kind of sneaky, but I think he's like enjoying the attention from both girls right now. But the guys even tell him, they're like, you literally have to decide because if you don't pick one, you're gonna lose both of them. And then the recoupling happens. Yeah. Going into the recoupling, I honestly did not know what to expect. Especially with Nick and with Ace, like their choices, who they were gonna pick. I was shook. Honestly, I was kind of very shocked about what happened. So let's get into that. So this time the boys are picking which girls that they want to recouple with, right? Jeremiah, guess who he picks? If you didn't say Huda, you're slow and you're not paying attention because duh, he picks Huda. Not surprised. Taylor picks Alandria to couple with. I didn't really touch on them too much. They seem to be doing fine for now. Charlie picks Hannah, so one of the bombshells, which makes sense. They seem to really have been hitting it off after the whole challenge. And then this is where I got confused. Okay, so Ace, I genuinely thought, but I should have known. Never trust light skinned men. I genuinely thought that he was gonna pick Shelly to pair up with, but then he picks Amaya, which was kind of strange. Like they did share some conversations like earlier, and they seem to be vibing, but it's just like he's made it clear so many times that he wants Shelly, he's pursuing Shelly, blah 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 blah. And then he just picks Amaya. So that was really, I was like, okay, sure. And then Austin goes next and he obviously picks Shelly. I honestly thought if it was between Shelly and Amaya that he was going to pick Amaya because he kind of seemed like he was creating something with her, but Ace already picked her, so he just picked Shelly. And then obviously the moment everyone is waiting for, who is Nick gonna pick? Ooh, that rhymed. Who is Nick gonna pick? Who is Nick gonna pick? Who is Nick gonna pick? So with the recouplings, every boy has to do like a little speech, right? So Nick was doing his speech, and obviously it's kind of seemed like it could be about both girls, but when he said the moment we shared in the photo booth, everyone knew that it was about Sierra. So obviously he finally makes his decision and he picks Sierra to couple with. And unfortunately, since he picked Sierra, that means Bella is single and she has to leave the villa. I honestly, truly, truly think the only reason he picks Sierra, and this is no disrespect to Sierra, is because of the attention that she gives him. He's made it clear multiple times that he likes attention, he likes affection, he likes that. His girl's basically all over him, and Sierra fulfills that for him. I don't know how things are going to be long term. I feel with that connections that are solely based on just affection and physical, they fizzle out really quick because once that other person comes in and they start, giving that affection, giving that attention, I feel Nick switching up on Sierra, I'm not gonna lie. On to episode 7. This is a very enlightening episode because I feel like you really start to see the true colors of certain people. Before I really dive into that, I'll just quickly get some of the more boring stuff out of the way. So, Olandria lets Sierra know about the kiss that Nick shared with Bella literally like 5 minutes before he kissed her. Obviously, and rightfully so, she's very pissed that, Nick didn't tell her, and she has a conversation with him. They talk about it, but ultimately she decides to move on because she just wants to enjoy the moment. Taylor and Alandria, remember them? Yeah, so these two are interesting. They kind of have a conversation about, their pace. Kind of seems to be going on a slower pace, especially when it comes to like the physical aspect, like holding hands, kissing. Like they feel like their friendship is very solid, but the physical aspect kind of needs some work. And Alandria kind of like puts the ball in Taylor's court, like, you know what? I kind of want things to speed up a little bit, especially physically, so you do what you gotta do to make that happen. On Twitter, Taylor kind of seems to be a controversial character. People don't really know how they feel about him. They kind of think that he's not physically attracted to Alandria, which I don't understand because that girl is a 10 out of 10. I don't know. I'm still rooting for them. This may be an unpopular opinion, but I'm still rooting for them. I still see that connection with them, but we'll just have to wait and see. I don't think he's not physically attracted to her. I just think he is a little bit more reserved, but we'll see. So I feel like this episode is really where you start to see the cracks start appearing between Jeremiah and Huda. So they're having a conversation about the whole Nick, Sierra, Bella situation, and Huda was really good friends with Bella, so she's just, kind of talking shit like, it's so crazy how men can just switch up, blah, blah, blah. The face that Jeremiah makes when she says that, he's like, what do you mean? Women do that too. And they just, I don't know, the facial expressions he was making as she was talking, you can tell that he's already starting to get annoyed with her. So the perfect and happy facade that they're putting on clearly isn't all that. And then we move on to Ace and Amaya. So we all remember that Ace is the one who picked Amaya to couple up with, right? Because the way he's treating her, you would think that she was forcing herself onto him. As soon as the recoupling is finished, right, he pulls Amaya to the side and he basically tells her, listen, I still want to explore other connections in this house. I don't like physical touch. I don't like physical affection. I want to take things very slow. Blah, blah, blah. Basically, just laying the rules and regulations down on her. And she obviously feels some type of way and she gets kind of emotional and she's like, listen, it's kind of giving player vibes. Like, we just paired up. Why are you telling me all of this? Like, we're supposed to be in the moment, actually enjoying things. And then he gets upset at her because she called him a player, but that's literally how he's moving. Like, he just seems so unserious. That's really just everything total up in one word I can describe him as is literally unserious. He doesn't know what he wants. So this conversation between them ends because Amaya gets really emotional and upset. She kind of like blows up on him. Fast forward a day later, they have another conversation and Amaya like approaches it really like calmly. You know, she's like, hey, I can respect your boundaries, your physical boundaries. That's totally fine. And he's like, oh, I don't like when you call me babe. Like, don't call me babe. Blah, blah, blah. I don't like that. And she's just like, bro, I literally call everyone babe. Like, what is going on? It seems like you don't even like me. Like, Ace is pretty much telling her, listen, don't look at me. Don't speak to me. Don't breathe. Don't be alive. Like, the way he's talking to her, it's like everything she does pisses him off. It's just so confusing because it's like, sir, you picked her. You didn't pick Shelly. You picked Amaya to get to know, to explore, but everything she does, you don't like. It's so weird. And during this time, he's still having conversations with Chelly and like still wanting to get to know her, still like saying, like, yeah, I still have my connection with you. I still want to get to know you, blah, 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 blah. And Austin says something that really just like he clocked exactly what's going on. So Austin sees that Ace and Chelly go and have like a conversation, and he literally, I've never seen Austin get so mad. He was so pissed. He's like, bro, Ace picked Amaya. Like, why does he keep going to have conversations with Chelly? I'm tired of this. I don't want to be in a love triangle. Blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, Ace wants Chelly to fight for him, basically. Ace wants Chelly to chase him, which is so true. This is exactly the game that Ace is playing. He basically says things to Chelly like, oh, yeah, I want to be with you, gives her reassurance, blah, blah, blah. But then he does things that are the opposite of that because he wants Chelly to chase after him. So with the whole Amaya situation, literally before the whole recoupling, Ace was making it seem like he was going to pair up with Chelly, but he ends up picking Amaya. But I feel like he did that because he wanted Chelly to be jealous and to chase after him. And when she obviously didn't, because Chelly is not about to chase a man, he then is like, okay, well, I have no use for Amaya now. So now he's treating her like crap. And that's why I feel like we honestly just need a new batch of men in this island because who the hell wants to chase a man? A 22-year-old man at that. Like, Chelly is 27. Ace, you are 22. Like, what is she chasing you for? That's basically how episode 7 ends. On to episode 8. In episode 8, a lot goes down, okay? In this episode, I'm finding with the more episodes come, Austin's kind of being a lot more vocal, but he basically expressed this to Shelly, his discomfort with the whole, Ace situation, and he respects that she's getting to know Ace too, but he also feels like maybe he needs to start emotionally pulling back. And he said a comment, he was like, oh, I'm not falling for her, I'm just vulnerable. But I'm like, listen, like the way you're acting, you're definitely falling for her. And Shelly's just still in the same place as she was, she's still liking her connection with Austin and exploring that. And also still has Ace in the back of her mind, which honestly, I don't like the options for Shelly right now. Like, just quick pause. Austin, I don't know. I see him switching up on her. I don't know why. He seems like a nice guy right now, but I really, really see Austin switching up on her. And Ace, we already know, is not serious. So, Shelly, I don't know. I could see her with someone else. Jeremiah and Huda again have a super weird conversation. Jeremiah is basically saying that he's like pretty much locked in, but like not fully. He doesn't see himself switching up and pursuing someone else, but he's like mostly locked in. The way I described it is exactly how he's saying it. Like, very confusing, doesn't make sense, all over the place. Even Huda's like, what? Like, it almost just seems like Huda's like the placeholder, and like he likes how things are, he's comfortable, but if someone walks in right now that catches his interest, he's gone. So then Huda's like, okay, so then should I start talking to other people then? And then he gets irritated at her and he's like, what? Like, why would you say that? And they just have a whole back and forth. And he says something that was so interesting to me. He's like, I feel like you talk down to me like I'm your kid. Because some of the comments that she makes, she's like, oh, like, good job. You did so good, blah, blah, blah. I think he has that kid thing in his mind now because this has never been an issue before since she brought up the whole kid situation. So I feel like now that that's a thing and he has that in his mind, everything she does now, that's his way of like acting out. I don't know if it's like a self-sabotage thing, but I feel like everything she does now or everything she says that now, even if it's good intentions, he's gonna feel like she's talking down to him because he has that whole kid situation in his mind. I just feel like he's gonna be using that whole, oh, you talk to me like a kid situation. He's just gonna use that card every single time she does something that just annoys him. And of course, Amaya and Ace are still beefing, and a whole situation happens between Amaya, Ace, and Shelly. They're about to go to bed, right? Ace is, making his rounds. He goes to Shelly, gives her a hug, says goodnight, cool, cool, cool. 3 seconds later, he gets into bed, and Maya gets into bed with him because they have to share a bed because they're coupled. And Amaya's like, oh, so you're not gonna hug me goodnight? This man said, nah. When I tell you, I screamed. Like, he hates her. And then the morning comes, right? So Shelly's making breakfast, doing her thing. Ace wants to set up like a little yoga date for Shelly. So he's setting that up and he goes to Shelly and tells her to like go get changed. So Shelly goes up to the room with where all the girls are sitting. And Amaya basically decides to confront Shelly. She's like, oh, I thought we were friends. Is there something going on with Ace? I feel like you're not being transparent. I feel like you're being fake, blah, 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 blah. They kind of have like a whole back and forth. And Shelly's like, well, I feel like I made it pretty clear that I'm still exploring my options with Ace as well. And Amaya's like, basically, you know what, girl, you can have him. I don't want him. I feel like he has boundaries with some people, me, and not others, you. And I was like, girl, clock it. Because it's so true. Ace is like telling Amaya, I don't want any physical affection. I don't want any physical touch. I need things to go slow, blah, 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 blah. But then in the next breath, he's making out and hugging and kissing and exploring. Exploring is his favorite word. That man likes to explore. He wants to explore. He's Dora the Explorer. So it's just very hypocritical to have those boundaries with some people and then not others. I mean, his body, his choice. I ain't mad at it, but the way he's going about it is just so unnecessary. Ace and Shelly decide not to do the whole yoga date because they're not trying to step on anyone's toes. But Ace pulls Amaya for another chat. And you can guess this chat doesn't go over very well. Like the way Ace is talking to Amaya, I don't know. It just triggered me. Like the way he's talking to her is so like cold and like demeaning. Like I don't know. It just was a very odd conversation to witness. And it's just again, you picked her. Like why are you treating her like this and you're the one who picked her? Basically, she got super emotional. She got super upset. They have a whole back and forth because he feels like he made things very clear with wanting to explore with Shelly. She feels like he's being fake. He's being a player, which I think he is. And the conversation ends where Ace is like, I want to make this very clear to you. I'm not exploring anything with you. And she's like, me too. So they're done. It's a wrap. It's over. And obviously, now that Ace is out of options, he goes back to Shelly and is like, yeah, I want to make things very clear to you that you're the only person that, I want to focus on from now on, blah, blah, blah. We'll see how long this lasts. The next bombshell, if it's a girl that walks in, I already know his head's going to be turning. But sure, as of right now, Shelly's his only choice. Around the end of the episode, they have their little challenge. I won't go into much of the details. It's not super important. What is important are the conversations that happen after. So Nick and Ace have a whole conversation with Jeremiah afterwards and basically tell him that they think Huda is fake. They think that they're moving way too fast and that Huda is basically using him to stay safe in Love Island because obviously in Love Island you need to be in a couple in order to stay in the villa. So they feel like, yeah, on one hand, she does like Jeremiah, but on another hand, she's just playing it safe. And during this whole conversation, you can see Jeremiah's face. He's like, oh, interesting. So you can tell that what they're saying is running through his head and is starting to get to him. And in my humble opinion, I do feel like Huda is pretty fake because I feel like she tells people one thing and then in another breath she'll tell people another, like someone else, another thing. Like during the challenge, she had the option to pick either Ace or Amaya. She told Amaya that she picked Ace because she wanted to pie Ace in the face, but then in the other hand, she told Ace that she picked him because she would rather have kissed him than Amaya. Like it was just this whole thing. Basically, she's two-faced in my opinion, and I feel like she just tells people what they want to hear. And basically, the episode ends with Jeremiah being a child and acting moody. Huda goes to like give him a hug or whatever, and like he like just shakes her hand and like does a thumbs up. It was so awkward to witness, and she's like, bro, like what's your problem? And he's like, oh, nothing, it's fine, I'm good, no worries. And then she gives him space for a little bit and then comes back and like presses him again, like what's going on. He basically finally opens up and tells her that he's feeling some type of way about what Nick and Ace said about her being fake. And it's just, I feel like if that type of conversation can get in your head like that, clearly there's not a very strong foundation between you two. And yeah, I really don't see them lasting. But yeah, that's basically the main things, the main points that happened between episodes 4 and 8. I just, I don't know. Ace is just a menace. And I told you all from the beginning. I told you when he said, oh, I'm a lover boy. I told you that that is code for I'm a menace. He's just acting up. He's being annoying. Nick, confused. Jeremiah and Huda, not gonna end up lasting. So like it's gonna be an explosive blow up between the two. Everyone else, I don't know. In my opinion, like I said, I feel like we just need a new wave of guys for the girls because I feel like all the guys are acting up. They're too comfortable. I think that's really what it is. They feel like they're the prize for some reason, and no. That's not how this works. But yeah, I'm excited to see the next couple of episodes, and we'll meet back here again and discuss our thoughts and really just take all of this in. But thank you so much for watching this video. If you like what you see, make sure to leave a like and hit that subscribe button for more videos. Also, please leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below because I love hearing other people's opinions. Even if they may not, you know, match with mine, it's still good to hear other perspectives as well and just laugh and, just talk shit because this is fun. Anyways, I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye!